Okay, greetings. This is Classic Games Redefined. My name is Rich, and we're doing another Why That Game video. This video has to do with the #1 game on Boardgame Geek, Twilight Struggle. I'm going to go into my impressions of the game and theorize why did this game end up #1. It's #1 game, #1 strategy game. Also, ranks very highly. I'll have a link below to the board game website on this. So anyhow, what I wanted to discuss a bit is the good points of the game, and then go a little bit more into why it's #1. Again, I'll say it's a peculiar case because this game's on a more complex side. It's not one of the most complex games you can learn, but it's on the more complex side. It's not a good intro game, so kind of would narrow it down. In addition, it's 2 players only, and while it has good graphics there thematically and match well here for the time period, the situation you have here is that it doesn't have fancy bits. It uses cardboard counters for it. So, but what are the good points? And I'll get to the end of why I think it has a crossover and end up being #1. One of the good points here is the theming, the Cold War theme. And also a little bit why it's that. There wasn't too many games that really captured U.S. versus Russia in the whole Cold War period, with the threat of nuclear war hanging overhead and everything else. Not really there. And the whole time period from like 50s, post-World War II, to when Reagan ended up saying, Gorbachev, tear down this wall. There's also another game after this that follows the period afterward. And then there's actually another game in this card-driven series, I'll explain a bit, that actually goes into post-9/11. This ends up being the #1 game, though. And the theming of the Cold War is unique, and it does a good job capturing it. And the play mechanics also. Let's go to another good point. The play mechanics of the Cold War. You have a risk of nuclear war. There's a DEFCON thing that you're tracking on the board here. That you can have nuclear war, and you don't want to do that happening. But as you play cards, it has an event happening. I believe there's literally a China card in here. So anyhow, and that was a political term for Russia and the United States trying to curry the favor of China. There's also these cards here. Like, look at this, how I learned to stop worrying. And during the mid-war period, there's 3 parts of the game here. And these cards here have op points. So that if you see the how I learned to stop worrying card, there's 2 ops. So when you play this card, you get points to put counters on the board. And also you just have to manage that with the trade-off of giving the person an advantage here. And there's also another advantage there, besides that, is these cards, as I said, that was another advantage, leads to the other advantage of depth. This is a fairly deep game. You're really capturing and trying to play and counterplay, etc. You have to track where you are on the board and try to position yourself. Now let me get to the last one with the appeal for it. This game has crossover appeal. Ranks high amongst wargamers, but also people who like to play a more adept strategy game. The Euro-style players, or in the Euro games, who are less worried about the theme and more interested in play mechanics. This game does a good job capturing, particularly with the op points here, and it's not straight-out war, but it's more politics. But thematically, it appeals to wargamers overall. So anyhow, you're looking at those points here, the theming, the uniqueness, there isn't too many games, and the crossover appeal, and because of the word of mouth that built up, rating it up a #1 on Boardgame Geek. It's a very good game. It's worth checking out if what described here is that. Also, I just want to close. I'm going to be closing up here shortly, but I'm not showing stuff in Tabletop Simulator now. I had issues with publisher regarding it and everything else, so unfortunately I'm not showing game anyplace else but the props I'm able to pull in. The advantage of that, it allows me to do more games, actually. So anyhow, that's the latest. So I do want to just go check this out. I'll have a link below to the Boardgame Geek entry on it, and I think also I have one for the publisher. So anyhow, go check this out. And that's the latest. So I do want to thank you for watching. May your die always roll 5.